A very warm welcome to all my viewers to Sentinel's Newsmakers. Today we start the show by paying our homage to actor Sushant Singh Rajput. His death has brought the spotlight back on mental health. Today on the show, we are going to talk about depression. We are going to talk about how to identify depression, how to fight and overcome depression. Today, I have a very eminent panel to talk on this particular issue. I have two doctors on the panel. I have Dr. Mythili Hazarika. She is the Associate Professor, Clinical Psychology at the Guwahati Medical College and Hospital. Joining me today on the show is Dr. Sangeeta Dutta. She is the Consultant Psychiatrist. Also on the show are two eminent artists, Rupam Bhuyan, singer and composer, actor Asha Bordoloi, and Jigyasha Kashyap. She's a student and she's also doing some social work. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Newsmakers. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I would like to begin the show today by talking first to the two doctors on the panel. Would like to hear from you, Dr. Sangeeta and Dr. Mythili. What has happened? Have we hit a new mental low? COVID lockdown only adding to the problems that many of the people were facing. Whatever happened with Sushant, soon after that, we saw many more suicides happening in barely past 6 to 7 days. What do you think has happened? We'll come to Dr. Mythili first with the question and then to Dr. Sangeeta. Dr. Mythili.
Yeah, at the very outset, I thank you, Onitum, for calling us. And this is a very nice platform to deliver what we have in our mind. This is very saddening that depression has always been there. It's a common mental disorder, but the rate of suicide is increasing day by day, and more so after Mr. Sushant's death. Yes. I guess this is one factor called Werder effect that we call copycat suicide. Sometimes when we can idealize a celebrity, or we can identify with some people whom we can think that they are big in our eyes, but if they can commit suicide, then if I am vulnerable, I'm at risk, then I can also commit suicide. Then it becomes kind of an easy way out of the solutions, of the problems, I mean to say.
Right.
And another thing is about suicide. It is very common, as the National Family Mental Health Survey had done in 2015-16, that it is 1 out of 20 Indians are suffering from depression. So suicide is another manifestation of depression. So depression is one of the causes of suicide. There are other causes also. Personality factors are there. Impulsively people do certain things. Substance abuse is another problem. Schizophrenia, and so many mental illnesses are there that leads to suicide. But the point is, we are talking about now the social, views and what the society's influence about this phenomenon. I think there is a biopsychosocial model that we follow about suicide. As Dr. Sangeeta, she is from the biological field. She's a psychiatrist. I am from the psychosocial field. We deal suicide and depression from a biopsychosocial perspective, because the brain is involved here, and every other psychological and social issues are also involved here. So,
oh, sure, absolutely. In fact, I would request all our panelists, Jot Dorkar, Ohomiyate kole beshi bhal hobo.
Hoy, etu eta manoshik rog. আমি জানো যে সুইচাইড, মেণ্টেল ইলনেছ, ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন, মানসিক হতাশা যোনটো কওঁ, সেইটো মানসিক ৰোগ। আৰু ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন বা এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ শব্দবোৰ আমি খুব কমনলি ইউজ কৰোঁ। আচলতে কমনলি ইউজ কৰা বস্তু নহয়। আমি চেড হ'ব পাৰোঁ, কিন্তু আমি ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনটো এটা ডিজিজ। আৰু সেইকাৰণে মানুহৰ সেই হতাশা কিছুমানে বুজিয়ে নাপায় যে তেওঁলোক হতাশাত ভুগি আছে। তেখেতসকলক যে ট্ৰিটমেণ্ট লাগে, তেখেতসকলে যে ক'ব লাগে, শ্বেয়াৰ কৰিব লাগে, মানুহৰ ওচৰত আহিব লাগে, বুজি নাপায়। ভাবে যে মই অলপমান মনটো মাৰি আছে আৰু হ'ব, আৰু মনটো কিবা এটা ৰিজন হৈছে, সেইকাৰণে মোৰ মনটো দুখ লাগি আছে। বাট দেট নিডছ ট্ৰিটমেণ্ট। সেই বস্তুখিনি মানুহে অলপমান ওলাই নাহে, সেইকাৰণে ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনৰ ৰেট খুবেই বেছি। আৰু সেই বহু ধৰণৰ কথা আছে, ষ্টিগমাৰ কথা আছে, বহু ধৰণৰ কথা আছে, মানুহে আহিব নোখোজে আমাৰ ওচৰত। সেইকাৰণে মই ভাবোঁ দিছ ইজ আ ক্ৰুচিয়েল প্লেটফৰ্ম, এণ্ড থেংক ইউ ভেৰি মাচ ফৰ অৰ্গেনাইজিং দিছ Onitum. This is a very nice way you're doing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the nice words. Dr. Sangeeta, your comments.
Yeah.
What do you think is happening? Why are we seeing so many suicides at this point of time? Uh, Sangeeta, you'll have to unmute the mic, please.
Unmute.
Yes. Yeah, your comments. Uh,
Can't
I
hear
guess
you.
we are having a problem with Sangeeta's audio. Sangeeta's audio is not working. Maybe we'll come back to Dr. Sangeeta in a while. Let's just go across.
Audio is.
Yes, her audio, we are facing a little bit of problem with her audio thing. We'll get that fixed. Meanwhile, let me go across to Rupam, if you can hear me. Rupam, you belong to the same fraternity as Sushant did. We have seen a lot of celebrity, they face this particular problem, they get depressed. Of course, you will tell us why it happens. There are people like Deepika Padukone, we all know the kind of depression she has been through, but she has been really strong enough. That is what I would say, from my point of view, to have overcome, to have fought depression. And now she is doing what she is doing, a pretty happy person, being herself. So, Rupam, tell us why all these things happen, and how have you people been able to? I'm sure you also must have faced a lot of, highs and lows, ups and downs throughout your career. So, how have you been able to, stay strong and overcome all of those stuff?
So, প্ৰথমতে thank you. So,
Yeah.
মই এটা খুব এনেকুৱা এটা চেণ্টেন্স পঢ়িছিলোঁ এডমণ্ড হিলাৰীৰ যিখন অটোবায়োগ্ৰাফি, তাতে তেখেতে
Mm-hmm.
লিখিছিল যে he spent his life and his goal was to reach Mount Everest, but
Yeah.
ইমান হাইটত অক্সিজেন কম থাকে, সেইকাৰণে মানুহে তাত থাকিব নোৱাৰে, তাত যাবহে
Right.
পাৰে। গতিকে মানুহে লাইফত যদি হাইট এটা পায়, তাৰপিছত তেওঁ নামি আহিবই লাগিব, সেইখিনি ঠাইত তেওঁ বেছি সময় থাকিব নোৱাৰে। চ' এইবিলাক কথা অকণমান জানি পেলাই লাইফটোত আগবাঢ়িলে চাগে মই ভাবোঁ ডিপ্ৰেছ নহয় মানুহে। আৰু অকল একাডেমিক্সটো ভাল কৰিলে নহ'ব, মানুহ হি শুড বি এডুকেটেড। এডুকেশ্যন আৰু একাডেমিক্সটো বেলেগ। চ' গাৰ্জেন বা পেৰেণ্টছসকলেও এইবিলাকত অকণমান they should give importance to their for their children, that they get really educated, not academically very
Right,
tutor bright.
right. Right,
I think
মানে
that
যেটো আমি usually Englishত কওঁ যে literate হলেই নহব, education to এটা সঁচাকে being
educated,
educated is totally a
yeah,
different ball game
yeah,
altogether. মানে বহুত
yeah,
পঢ়ি
yeah,
শুনিও যদি মূল আৰু যেটো ৰূপমে কৈছে যে grounded হৈ থাকাটো অতিকে দৰকাৰী।
খুব দৰকাৰ হয়।
আমি জানিব লাগিব যে যি বস্তু ওপৰলৈ উঠি যায় সি এদিন নামি আহিবই,
নাহিব
and we have to
নাহিব
be ready for that. That is
yeah, yeah.
something. Asha, what about your personal experiences? Because you also belong to the same fraternity, you are doing very well as an actor. Uh, Tell us about any personal experiences, if you would like to share something from your personal diary. Aru, overall, how do you look at this whole, whatever has happened post Sushant's death?
Thank you so much for adding me at first. মই এইটোৱে ক'ব খুজিম, ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন যিটো আমাৰ আজি মেইন টপিক, ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন হয়তো মেথিলি মেমে যিটো ক'লে সেইটো অলপ বেলেগ, আমাৰ কাৰণে সংজ্ঞাটো তাৰ ডেফিনেশ্যন ইজ ট'টলি ডিফাৰেণ্ট। আৰু আমি তেনেকুৱা মাজেৰে আগবাঢ়ি গৈ থাকো গম নোপোৱাকে ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনত। আৰু যদি মই এইটো কওঁ যে আমাৰ সমাজখনত এই অভিনয় জগতখনৰ বা সংগীত জগতখনত কেনেদৰে ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন অহা যায়, মই ৰূপম দাৰ এই কথাটো সঁচাকৈ এগ্ৰী কৰিম যে আমি যদি এক্সপেক্টেশ্যন লেভেলটো যদি আমি একদম পিক অফ দ্য মাউণ্টেইন ভাবি লওঁ, তেতিয়া কিন্তু আমি ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনত আহিম। আৰু এনেকুৱা ক্ষেত্ৰত মই ফেচ কৰা হৈছে কিছুমান এক্সপিৰিয়েঞ্চেছ, লাইক মই একেবাৰে ৰুৰেল এৰিয়াৰ বেকগ্ৰাউণ্ডৰ মই এগৰাকী ছোৱালী। মই যেতিয়া মই ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰীত কাম কৰিবলৈ গৈছো, মই কিছু ষ্ট্ৰাগল কৰিছো ফৰ মেনি ৰিজন। বিভিন্ন ক্ষেত্ৰত মই যদিও মেইন ষ্ট্ৰীমত কাম কৰিছো, বিভিন্ন ক্ষেত্ৰত এনেকুৱা হয় এজ ইফ অডিয়েন্সে মোক খুব ভাল পায়। I have lots of followers, অডিয়েন্সে মোক খুব ভাল পায়, কিন্তু এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ হয় তাই নোৱাৰিব নেকি এইটো কেৰেক্টাৰ কৰিব, শি ইজ নট ফিট ফৰ ডেট, কিন্তু মোক ট্ৰাই নকৰে, বা মে বি আই ডোন্ট হেভ দেট হট লুক, আৰু সেইকাৰণে মই সেই মেইন ষ্ট্ৰীমত কাম কৰিলেও মোৰ অলপ কেৰেক্টাৰ চুজনটো বেলেগ। বা ৰূপম দাহঁতৰ যিটো তেওঁলোকৰ যিটো পটেঞ্চিয়েলিটি সেইটো বহুত ওপৰত, কিন্তু ৰূপম দাহঁতৰ কামখিনি যিমান গহীন, যিমান গম্ভীৰ, যিমান ডেফ্ট আছে, তাতে কিছুমান লোকসকলে সিমান ডেফ্টলৈ গৈ কাম নকৰে, তথাপি দে হেভ লটছ অফ ফলোৱাৰ্ছ। কিন্তু ৰূপম দাহঁতক বা আমি কেতিয়াবা পাবলগীয়া আমাৰ ৰিকগনিশ্যনটো আমি নাপাওঁ, তেতিয়া আমাৰ কি হয়, সেই ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনটো আমাৰ হয়। And luckily, we don't have the problem of nepotism in our industry, but we do have the problem of groupism, and such a very low-graded groupism. Maybe Rupam দাইও ফেচ কৰি আছে বহুত সময়ত গ্ৰুপিজম, মই ফেচ কৰিছো বহুত সময়ত। আমি কেতিয়াও ইজনে সিজনৰ কামক প্ৰশংসা কৰিব নোৱাৰো, আৰু যেতিয়া আমি বেলেগ ধৰণে অলপ কাম কৰো বা পটেনচিয়েলিটি থকা বুলি ভাবা লোক এজনতকে যেতিয়া আমি বেলেগ ধৰণে কাম কৰো, তেতিয়া গ্ৰুপিজমত আমাক সুমুৱাই দিয়ে, বিভিন্ন কথা কয়, তাত ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন অহা হয়। আৰু আহিছো বিভিন্ন সময়ত বা বিভিন্ন ডিপ্ৰেছড লোকৰ লগত থাকিও আমি ডিপ্ৰেছ হৈছো, যাৰ কাৰণে মই once I met Mythili ma'am for some other reason. কিন্তু এইখিনি কথাত মই এটাই গম পাইছো যে ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনটো আহিবলৈ হলে, ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনটোৰ পৰা ওলাই আহিবলৈ হলে এজন ভাল ব্যক্তি, এজন ভাল ঘৰৰ কোনোবা ফ্ৰেণ্ড হওক, ফেমিলি মেম্বাৰ হওক, যাতে তেওঁৰ নিচিনা এজন পাৰ্চন থকাটো দৰকাৰ, যাৰ লগত আমি সকলো কথা পাতিব পাৰো। আৰু মই এটা কম মোৰ পাৰ্চনেল এক্সপিৰিয়েঞ্চৰ পৰা, যদি তেনেকুৱা কোনো পাৰ্চন নাথাকে, ৰিলায়েবল পাৰ্চন, যাৰ লগত কোনো কথা শ্বেয়াৰ কৰিব নোৱাৰে, দেন প্লিজ গো ফৰ দ্য ৰিলিজিয়াছ ৱে, ডিভোটেড। যেতিয়া ভগৱানৰ ওচৰত গৈ মানুহৰ দৰে কথা পতা যায় বা প্ৰব্লেমছবোৰ ফেচ কৰা যায়, এটা আনচিন পাৱাৰ এটা মই ফিল কৰিছিলো, যিটোৱে মোক ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনৰ পৰা ওলাবলৈ বহুতখিনি সাহস দিছিলে। গতিকে মই সেই ৱেত ওলাই গৈছো। মেবি সকলোৰে ৰিজনটো বেলেগ বেলেগ হ'ব পাৰে ডিপ্ৰেশ্যনৰ পৰা ওলোৱা, কিন্তু মই এইটো কথা কেতিয়াও ডিনাই কৰিব নোৱাৰো যে মানে religious way to, it's one of the one of the important
Asha,
way.
we'll come back to you, and we will speak about all of these things with Mythili and Dr. Sangeeta as well. Like, what are the ways out, in case, and also how important is talking, sharing, having friends and family. And for the benefit of our viewers, I would just like to brief what Asha has said, because there are many non-Assamese speaking viewers also who are watching the show at this point of time. They are requesting us to switch between Assamese and English. So what Asha was saying is that she was sharing her experiences, her personal experiences, the highs and lows, the challenges, the moments when she was feeling really low, because maybe despite having all the potential, she was not getting the right kind of roles. The characters she actually wanted to play and portray. That's when she really felt low and depressed, and she had actually seen Dr. Mythili for some help and assistance. She has been able to overcome most of it now. And what she is also saying, that you really need a good friend or somebody in your family to share your emotions, your feelings. That is very important. And another way of getting out of depression is maybe turning to prayers, turning to meditation and stuff like that. But we will continue with what needs to be done. We will get comments from both the doctors on the show. Also, we'll request Rupam to share his views. What does he think? What is how to overcome depression? But before I do that, I would like to go across to Jigyasha, the student here, the youngest in the panel today. She's also doing some social work. Jigyasha, share with us your thoughts, your views. What actually prompted you to join the show today? Jigyasha. Jigyasha, if you can hear me. Or Jigyasha, can you hear me? What actually prompted you to join the show today?
Okay, hi everyone, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, because I'm meeting so many people and so many talk. Hello.
Yes, Jigyasha, please carry on. Jigyasha, are you all right? Dr. Sangeeta, let's come to you now.
Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, what we have been discussing, what the things that we are seeing at this point of time, post Sushant's death, we've seen so many more suicides happen, some really young, kids committing suicide. So why is this happening? What are your thoughts?
we need to understand a few things so far as depression and suicide are concerned. Number one, there's a difference between feeling sad and, well, my voice is echoing.
We are getting that.
Hear an echo.
Please carry on. Yes, please carry on.
Yes. So there's a difference in there's a difference between feeling sad or suffering from depression. A lot of people are not aware enough to understand what depression is. Depression is a mental health disorder. It needs to be treated like any other physical problem. So we need to build awareness about not only about depression and suicide, also about other mental health issues, number one. Number two, we need to remove the stigma. A lot of people suffer in silence because they do not come out in public or they do not express their feelings for the fear that they'll be criticized, ridiculed, or they'll be laughed at. So we need to remove the stigma, because once upon a time, when people were depressed or people had some mental health problem, they were called pagal in Hindi. They were called insane. So it is again a depression, or for that matter, it is a mental health problem. It's like a physical disorder, and we can treat it with medications as well as with counseling and psychotherapy. And sometimes when we do it parallelly, the results are much better. And when we talk about mental health issues, depression, there is a biopsychosocial model of mental health disorders, including depression, which says that there are primarily 3 factors which lead to depression and suicide, since we are discussing this today. The first is biological factors, the second is psychological factors, and the third are social factors. So in the biological factors, what we need to understand is, in a person who's suffering from depression, there are 3 neurochemicals in the brain primarily, namely serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine, whose levels go low in the brain in people who are suffering from depression. So in that case, when we give medicines to such a patient, the role of the medicines is to restore the levels of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. That is the biological part. Another interesting biological aspect of depression is that for a person who's suffering from depression, the one part of the brain, which is called the hippocampus, that decreases in size. But once the person gets treated and recovers, the hippocampus comes back to normal size. This is called the theory of neuroplasticity. So that is a biological. The psychological aspects of it is like this, like all of us have different kinds of personalities, we have different temperaments, etc. So some people are more vulnerable to get into depression, some people are less. Some people are more emotional, more sensitive. And some people are more resilient. When we talk about resilience, what we mean to say is that across different highs and lows in life, but they have this innate ability to spring back to their original normal state. Some people are not as resilient as others. So apart from that, some people have excellent coping strategies for life. They can face situations in life, they go through a low phase, they find out solutions, and they come out of it. So we have to understand there are psychological issues also related to developing depression or not, when we talk about the genesis of depression. And the social factors are, of course, it's about support system. These days, when we live in an egocentric society, people are lonely. And so when people are feeling low, they have nobody to talk to. They don't have relatives, they don't have friends. Sometimes they do have a friend or a relative who does not even understand, who cannot empathize.
Yes, so that's exactly the point, right. So I'm sure Rupam and Asha will also agree to this thing. Okay. Yes, Sangeeta. Yeah.
It's all in your head. There's nothing to worry. It means that the other person is dismissing you as a weak human being or something. So even the other person has to understand that this is a disorder. You need to support this person, and if necessary, take a mental health professional.
So now from both the doctors out there, we would want to know, I'm sure Asha and Rupam would also want to know all of these things, and all our other viewers, that, first thing, how do you identify, how do you even realize, because many people don't even realize that they're actually depressed. We always try to ignore this thing, like many of you have also mentioned, and I have also got a lot of comments saying that, most of the people, they don't realize, they don't understand that they're depressed. অলপ মনটো বেয়া লাগিছে, but that might,
Exactly.
become such a
Yeah.
huge
So
thing that you might actually
yes.
end up committing suicide. So how
Yes.
do you identify
So
that? বুজি কেনেকে পাম
there
আমাৰ যে ডিপ্ৰেছন হৈছে আৰু
there
কি কৰিব লাগিব? What do we do after that?
There are certain indicators. Okay, there are certain features of depression. Like there's a period, like we say 2 weeks. If a person is minimum 2 weeks not feeling all the time feeling sad, it's a pervasive feeling of sadness. I think it's echoing. My voice is echoing. Is
Yes,
it
it is
fine
Yes,
gone.
now?
it is.
Yes, it is gone.
So there is a pervasive feeling of sadness. মানে সকলো সময়তে এটা দুখ অনুভৱ কৰি থাকে, সকলো সময়তে at least দুসপ্তাহ মান, আৰু lack of energy, lack of like it's a fatigability, আমি যোনটো কওঁ ভাগৰুৱা লাগি থাকে, fatigue লাগি থাকে, আৰু ইন্টাৰেষ্টটো কমি যায় আগৰ প্লেজাৰেবল কাম কৰোঁতে, lack of interest in pleasurable items, যেনেকে মই টিভি চাই ভাল পাইছিলো, মানুহৰ লগত কথা পাতি ভাল পাইছিলো, suddenly that has come down. So these are the three cardinal features. On top of that, hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness. এটুক আমি কওঁ negative cognitions of depression. মানে কি আমাৰ আশাহীন, আশা নাই, আৰু আমি মানে একো কৰাৰ মানে সামৰ্থ্য নাই, worthless, আৰু helpless মানে আমি অসহায়. So there are these three negative cognitions. On top of that, there are biological changes like sleep is not okay, appetite is not okay, highly suicidal, death wish is there, intention to die is there. So a lot of comorbidities of this kind also is there. But the features are there has to be for another, for at least 2 weeks minimum. So if the person is feeling, if mood fluctuation is different. Moi azi mor mon to beya lagise, I'm feeling sad, I am crying and I said I'm depressed. No. One event you may really break down and you cry, but next moment you may come out of that. All right? As Sangeeta had rightly said, resilience factor, no? Hekane sobe koise Shushantar sob asile dekhun. Hi kyo kane etu korile? Kismane koise expectations to bahut asile sake. It's not always that. Okay, it is not on the material need. Yeah, we may have a lot of things in our mind, in our life, but our mind may work in a very different manner because of depression. No, at a loss থাকিব পাৰে, মনত এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ এটা negative cognition, আমি সেইকাৰণে তাতে cognitive behavior therapy আহি যায়, আমাৰ ৰোল আহি যায় সাইকলজিষ্ট বিলাকৰ, যে আমি কেনেকে negative thoughts বিলাক positively replace কৰিব পাৰো. That is called cognitive behavior therapy. That is Aaron Beck আৰম্ভ কৰিছিলে প্ৰথমতে, that I am মানে ডিপ্ৰেছ মানুহবিলাকে কি ভাবে, মই ঠিক নহয়, তেওঁ ঠিক নহয়, গোটেই পৃথিৱীখন ঠিক নহয়, মানে I, you and the world and me, I am worthless, I am helpless, and the world is not going to help me, and it is hopeless. So hopelessness jodi thake manhor, tetia hole suicide is very, very vulnerable. A person may commit suicide if hopelessness is there. So these are the different indicators of depression.
Let me bring in Rupam here. Rupam, she mentioned that, what all people are talking about Sushant at this point of time. So you being an artist, what do you think? I mean, why? No, I'm talking about the general artists, performers, people feeling, going through their highs and lows. You as an artist, you must have been through a lot as well. So how do you look at this whole depression thing?
Anitam, the first pressure that an artist feels is from his fans or the people who like him. They expect a lot from him. That's the first thing and the first pressure. And second thing is, if the artist is not getting any work from a long period, or so that may also be a reason for getting depressed, or he or she is not getting the work he wants to do, and he is compromising somewhere. So that may be some reason behind getting depressed. তাৰ বাহিৰে আৰু বহুত কথা থাকিব পাৰে, কিন্তু মই এই ক্ষেত্ৰত মই এটা কথাই ক'ব বিচাৰো যে that when an artist starts his career, no one knows him, no? So then also he is the same person, so he is to be like that whole life. Then in Assam there are a lot of artists like that. Dr. Birendranath Dutta sir, we have seen him continuously traveling by bus and living a very simple life in spite of giving so many immortal songs.
Yes.
Ex chief minister Sarat Singh. So we should get inspiration from people who are really very
Despite being great achievers, humble
yeah,
lifestyle.
humble. Yeah, APJ Kalam. And so
Right.
these people are not only leaders, no, they are also inspiration for people who are like us and who are getting depressed or who has the chance of getting depressed.
Depressed,
So
yet yes.
yeah, we should look forward, look up to them, and try to be like them.
Right. So, what has been your mantra? How
My
have
mantra,
yes?
my mantra is music, and I only মানে যিয়ে নহওক ভাল লাগিলেও গানে আৰু বেয়া লাগিলেও গান খং উঠিলেও গান আৰু যিকোনো কথাতে মিউজিকে দি আহি আছে আৰু
Yes.
আদাৰৱাইজ
And
আৰু মিউজিকৰ যি পাইছো I have got everything from my music. So মিউজিকটো ভালকে কৰি গ'লে যদি মই অনেষ্টলি মোৰ মিউজিকটো কৰি যাওঁ আই ন মোৰ মনটো ভাল লাগি থাকিব, সেইটোৱে শেষৰ কথা। আৰু if I feel good, then my music will also be
music
good.
is therapeutic.
Yeah.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
So can I ask you? Can I interfere
Yes.
here?
Yes.
Mane,
Yes.
I am like personally speaking, Rupam azi ate ase. I am so glad that he's here today for this panel discussion, because ami life ot bahut personal event par kori ahu. No,
Right.
prottek jone ami par kori ahisu.
Yes.
Aru khub এই লাষ্ট কেইমাহত ৰূপমে এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ এটা লছ পাৰ কৰি
We
আহিছে।
all know that.
So
Yes.
I mean to say,
Then,
I really want to know from him, how has he coped up? Because he is one good inspiration for all of us. Because I met
Absolutely.
him personally, the way he is like coping with this whole situation is amazing.
Yes.
So I think
Yes.
he can tell us more in detail that how has he faced it and what has he
Absolutely.
experienced.
One
Yes,
reason
Rupam?
why I requested him
Yeah.
to be on the show today. Yes.
Yes.
Rupam.
Yeah, thank you. But first thing, that was not in anyone's hand, no, what happened. So I couldn't, I didn't have any control on that. I have control on my today only. So মই সেইমতে আগবাঢ়িছো আৰু মই মানে ডেইলি হিচাপত লাইফটো এতিয়া মানে ডেইলি ৰাতিপুৱা উঠো আৰু ভাবো যে আজি ভালকে পাৰ কৰিব লাগিব। আই হেভ টু মানে গ'ল কিছুমান থাকে ধৰক, সদায় মই এইকেইদিন ৰেগুলাৰ কম্পজিশ্যন কৰি আছো এটা মই ভাবি আছো যে মই এটলিষ্ট 5 hours নিজৰ কাৰণে দিম, ৰেষ্ট 15 hours ফৰ মাই ফেমিলি। মই সেনেকে মোৰ লাইফটো মানে এতিয়া এভৰিডে মই স্পেণ্ড কৰি আছো আৰু মই মি টাইমটো কেতিয়াও কম্প্ৰমাইজ কৰা নাই। আৰু যিহেতু বিকজ অফ দ্য লকডাউন এণ্ড অল দ্য চিটুৱেশ্যন, we are bound to stay home, no? So
Right.
I am spending a lot of me time. Yeah, that's the
Great.
main thing.
So you're taking each day as it comes.
At a time.
Yeah, and as the day unfolds, as every minute unfolds. Yes. Jigyasha, I hope Jigyasha's line has got fixed, and I think there's a huge net connectivity as far as Jigyasha is concerned. She's joining us from Shillong. Maybe that is why she's facing a lot of connectivity problem. I hope we are able to reconnect with her. In the meanwhile, Asha, coming to you, you were sharing how you had, overcome the whole thing. You said that you need friends and family. Also would like to get comments from both Dr. Sangeeta and Mythili also on this, sharing aspect, how important that is, because there are people who might not, even if they have realized that they are depressed or they are not mentally feeling upbeat and okay about it, they kind of, tend to go into a shell. They build walls around themselves.
Yes,
They don't
you
want
do.
to go see or interact, or they might not even want to talk about their feelings. So, Asha, how did you fight all of those? And then I'll come to both Sangeeta and Mythili to elaborate on all of these things. But before I go to Asha, I would quickly like to reach out to Jigyasha, because I've not been able to hear from her at all. Jigyasha, can you talk to her? I guess she's gone again. All right. Asha, to you.
Regarding this topic, I was quite lucky that my staff, especially one of my assistants, she was like a very, very, very close friend of mine. Though I'm not so much close to my friend, close to my family members, but she was very much close to me, and that's why it was a very means মোৰ কাৰণে খুব এটা বেলেগ ধৰণৰ even I cannot explain this এটা বেলেগ ধৰণৰ এটা পৰিৱেশ আছিলে যে which thing I cannot share to my family but I can share to her, and at this moment, at this regard, I was quite lucky, and this way I overcame. কিন্তু মই ভাবো সকলো তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ লাকি নহবও পাৰে, সকলো তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ so music is a therapy. Now we got one therapy, music.
Yes.
And from my side, books are the best friend, I think. Books are the best friend. সময়ত মই যথেষ্ট কিতাপ পঢ়িছিলো, ইনস্পাইৰেশ্যনেল কিতাপ পঢ়িছিলো, আৰু এতিয়াও মই পঢ়িছো অলপতে ৰুবুল মাউতৰ পঢ়িছিলো। মোৰো এটা সপোন আছে, I have a dream too. Beautiful books. তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কিতাপৰ মাজেৰে যদি আমি আগবাঢ়ি যাওঁ, then surely one day we will overcome.
So music, good books, positive thoughts are some of the things.
Most important thing মই ক'ব খুজিম যে stay away from negative people. Stay away from negative people. They are very poisonous. Stay away. Just stay away.
Right.
অকলে থকাটো better. Negative মানুহৰ লগত
than being with negative people.
Stay alone. You should stay alone. Yes.
Stay alone, but stay away from negative thoughts and negative people. Jigyasha. Jigyasha, if you can hear me, Jigyasha would like to hear from you. You're a student, you're doing a lot of social work, you are connected with people. Yes, Rupam, you want to say something?
I just want to ask Sangeeta ma'am and Mythili ba, is it good to stay alone, or actually I'm confused?
Loneliness is all in your mind. Loneliness is all about you be with people, then also you can be lonely. All right.
I would like to respond to that. I would like to respond to that.
Yes.
Being alone is always better than being in bad company.
That is true.
Yes.
That is true.
Yes.
That is true.
Actually, that is what Asha...
I completely agree with what Asha was saying, because it's bad company and negative people and negative environment which depletes us completely. Many times we see people who are positive, who are full of energy, who are enthusiastic, and they want to do some good. But then you have a bunch of negative people around you, and the situation is very toxic. And then you don't realize, in due course of time, you deplete yourself, you're drained. So it's always better to stay away from them. We never want to be alone, but it's always better to be alone than to be in bad company. I'm sure about that.
True.
All right.
True. 100% correct.
Jigyasha, can you hear me?
Jigyasha. It's mute. Her thing is mute, I guess.
Let's just give her a few seconds if we can connect with her.
Yeah. I think you can hear me now. I've unmuted my mic.
Yes, Jigyasha, if you can hear me, just wanted to hear from you. You're a student.
And I have unmuted the mic.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Please share your experiences. You're a student. You're working at the grassroots level. And what prompted you actually to join today's show? I would really like to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. First of all, it's a pleasure, because I'm here with so many prominent personalities. Obviously, I'm really happy that I'm here, and I want to talk about my journey. I want to talk about 2019. So, Tetya ki hosile around October, November. I was having this a very uncomfortable feeling, there was this unrest. Constant sadness but since I had psychology in school, so I could sense that something is wrong in me, and since I was doing my graduation in social work, so I used to have psychology as a paper, so that helped me to recognize a few things, so those trigger points and all of that. So then I thought I was naimoi etya doctor dekhato bhal hobo, because I was getting anxiety issues and all of that.
Right.
So before approaching the doctor, I had spoken to a lot of people. My both friends or kotha patisilu. I spoke to a lot of my seniors and all of that. So there were certain comments which I had got. So the first thing which had always hit me hard was, there was this person. I would not take the name. You're not raped. Nobody has died. Anybody, nobody has died in your family. So why are you depressed? So these are the kinds of comments, and that actually makes a person fear the judgment and to go see a
Right.
doctor, and this hesitation will ahi jai. Jai manhe ki kobo, what will people think, and how do I
Exactly.
explain this to my parents? Like, this is the most important thing, I think, for me and my
Right.
students. Parents are kind of buja to ketiaba all of my difficult ho jai je, what is depression? Like, sob to thike ase, everything is fine, why are you feeling sad? But we might have a lot of reasons. So juntu was actually manu bujhabo tan hoye jabe, when you explain, the thing becomes very simple. But otherwise in
Right.
the mind it's like a chaos. So that was very, that was happening to me. And then I approached the doctor. But the funny part was, when I approached the doctor, it did not help. It made things worse. I got
Okay.
this sudden anxiety attack, and I was
Yeah.
rushed to the emergency. So
All right.
then I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know why I got maybe because the doctor has already diagnosed, like, you have anxiety and depression. So I think that realization made it more worse.
For you.
Now I knew, I have this problem. So it made me feel worse and feel hopeless and feel worthless. And I'm like, I don't know how do I get out of this. So this is the first things which I was going through, and the worst thing was nobody was understanding. So I feel we need a lot of awareness. Awareness goes to I think our families are basically like more than us, because it's very difficult to make them understand first, that I need help.
Yes.
Right.
So I think that is why I really wanted to join, because more my platforms that I have been raising my voice, regarding this entire issue. So that's why I thought, I should come up here and talk about it, so that at least I get an insight. So
Right.
yeah, that's
Yes.
why I'm
Yes.
here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said, Jigyasha. It's really good to hear from young people like you. Speaking up, speaking out about issues like depression. It also, I think, takes a
Yes.
lot of courage for somebody to really step up and start talking that yes, I am depressed. Yes, I'm not feeling all right. It's really because I have tried connecting with so many people. It's only very few actually agreed to come and talk
Yes.
about it. That shows the kind of stigma this particular thing attaches. That fear. So both doctors there, what do you think? Jigyasha is saying that we need a massive awareness program. That is what she's talking about. She's saying that our parents need to
Absolutely.
realize they need to be educated on this particular aspect, the mental health aspect. That is also equally important, as is the overall well-being of a person, the physical part of it, plus the mental health. How do you bring about that
Yeah.
awareness? What about the caregivers? Do we have enough people to take care of our people who are mentally not keeping well? How do we go
Yeah.
about, and what are the remedies?
So shall I start?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, please, yes.
About Jigyasha, I think she is wonderful. She's come out, and I have seen of late a lot of adolescent population comes to me and says that my parents have not brought me. I have brought my parents along with me, and I want to talk alone, and I want my parents to be out, not in the
Right.
room. And this has been amazingly different from the way 20 years I have been in this profession. Of late, I have seen a major change in the adolescent population. They come forward and they talk about their issues. And sometimes the parent says that, why do you need to go to a psychologist? Because we are there, we can guide you, because we are always, parents are very good psychologists, as we all know. But
Yeah.
sometimes what happens, the same thing probably a professional says in a very different manner, and maybe the parents have been also saying the same thing, but in a over involved way, in a biased manner, because they always feel that the child is right, and probably at that point of time they lose the objectivity. So when they come to a professional, maybe I or anybody of us can say the same thing, but this is taken and they kind of implement and administer on themselves. So that helps, professional helps. And another thing is that the expectations. the parental expectations that have I, when the parents come to know that their children are depressed, they feel guilty. That is another kind of an psychological issue. They feel that the psychologists may find out that I am wrong, I am doing wrong, and they feel that is a stigma. That I think the parents should not feel at all, because the children may get depressed. It may not be linked to their parenting, and may not be linked to their child rearing patterns at all, may not be associated with any of the family issues, but individually they may have problems. It may be because it's a biological entity, and as Sangeeta had well defined, and many of the psychosocial issues are there. Peer group influence is there. They go through rejection, and the rejection sensitivity, that immediate need for gratification, for frustration in them, for so many issues. Issues be like enuka nohoy, parents family খুব গিল্টি ফিল কৰে যেতিয়া বাচ্চাটাই কৈ দিয়ে যে মোৰ মনটো বেয়া লাগি আছে দেখোন, মোৰ মৰিব মন গৈছে দেখোন, তেতিয়া ভাবে আমি ক'ত ভুল কৰিলো, am I a failure, as a mother, have I failed somewhere? So in that way, what happens is that a mother tries her best to do something about it, but she fails. What happens is that suicide. So I think whenever your child says you should not feel responsible for your child's status, she feel korise hetu teolokor ekdom independent data feeling where you are not involved. So mainly because of this, I think parents hesitate to come to psychologists and psychiatrists. Secondly, medicine into issues ase, মানুহে ভাবে ডিপ্ৰেছন আৰু এইবিলাক বস্তু কোনো কিয়ৰ নাই, কিয়নো সাইকিয়াট্ৰিক কিছুমান দৰব বা ডক্টৰ বা এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ হৈ যায় যে আমি সাইকিয়াট্ৰিক ট্ৰিটমেণ্ট ল'লে যেন কিয়ৰ নাই, এইটো যেন আমি ডিপেণ্ডেণ্ট হৈ যাব লাগিব, গোটেই জীৱন আমি খাই থাকিব লাগিব, ডক্টৰবিলাকে দিয়ে থাকিব, আমি চাগে কিয়ৰ নহওঁ. It's not that. There is a particular way of giving medicines, and they give medicines, follow up kori thake, that is the way they have to give the medicines, because the blood or hekini medicines kaam koribo laibo, duration thake. It's not like physical illness that you have antibiotics for 7 days or 3 days and you become all right. So they feel hare iman matiye thake, so I think I'll not be out of this issue. So they, because of Jigyasha, when she said that she being a psychology student, নিজে সাইকোলজি স্টুডেন্ট, আর নিজে সোশিয়োলজি জানে, তাৰ পিছতো তাই কি ফিল কৰিলে, তাই ব্ৰেকডাউন হৈ গ'ল ন, তাই ভাবিলে হাৰে এতিয়া মই ডিপ্ৰেছড হৈ গ'লো, মানে ইট ইজ নট কিউৰেবল, মই মেডিচিন খাই দিব লাগিব, সেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ এটা আহি গ'ল. চ' ইট ইজ এ কিউৰেবল ইলনেছ, 100% কিউৰেবল ইলনেছ, এণ্ড ৰাইট ট্ৰিটমেণ্ট, ৰাইট ইণ্ডিকেশ্যন, ৰাইট মানে মুভমেণ্টত আৰম্ভ কৰিব লাগিব, এণ্ড দে শুড নট ডিলে ইট. খুব বেছি ডিলে কৰি দিলে এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ.
Okay, because of paucity of time, there were too many other issues, because this is a very serious subject. I would like to have another session with all of you, talk about more issues that I'm sure many of our viewers would have loved to hear, but apologies because of the time constraint, have not been able to do justice to this. Finally, would request Rupam to end on a happy note. Aji Rabha Divas, তেখেতলৈ শ্ৰদ্ধাঞ্জলি জনাই আজি পুৰুষোত্তম দাসৰো মৃত্যু তিথি, দুয়োজন মহাপুৰুষক মনত পেলাই তেওঁলোকক শ্ৰদ্ধাঞ্জলি জনাই আজিৰ নিউজ মেকাৰ্ছ মই সামৰিব খুজিম. ৰূপম, ৰিকুৱেষ্ট ইউ টু সিং এণ্ড মেক আছ অল হেপী.
মই মোৰ এটা বিষ্ণুৰাভা সংগীত অকমান গাই দিছো, মোৰ ভাল হোৱা.
নিশ্চয়.
পৰজনমৰ শুভ লগন যদিহে আমাৰ
Sangeeta can also sing.
পুৰাবানে প্ৰিয় এই জনমৰ মোৰ হিয়াৰ পূৰ্ণ আশা, পৰজনমৰ শুভ লগন এই জনমৰ গোপন কথা গুপুতে থাকি দিলে যে ব্যথা, কাহানিও তুমি নেদেখিলা শোকৰে ছবিটি হিয়াতকা, পুৰাবানে প্ৰিয় এই জনমৰ মোৰ হিয়াৰ পূৰ্ণ আশা পৰজনমৰ শুভ লগন.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
everyone.
Thank
Yes,
you, ma'am.
Very nice.
Of course, and Jigyasha, hopefully next time we will get much more to hear from you. Hope the line will be much better next time when you join us. And really
We have
wonderful.
lost, but we ran short of time.
Yes. Therefore, we will
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
have another session on this particular topic. Thank you all once again for joining me.
Thank you.
Aji,
Thanks.
Thank you, Anita. Yeah.
Pleasure. Rabha
Thank you.
Divahot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rabha Divahot, Rabha Kokaido, Vishnu Kaitiloi, আৰু পুৰুষ বৰদেউতা আমাৰ কাৰণে দুয়োজন মহান ব্যক্তিলৈ শ্ৰদ্ধাঞ্জলি জনাইছো. গোটেই সেন্টিনেলৰ পৰিবাৰৰ হৈ সেন্টিনেল পৰিবাৰৰ হৈ মই অনিতা মুজাই দুয়োকে শ্ৰদ্ধাঞ্জলি জনালো আৰু ইয়াৰ লগতে নিউজ মেকাৰৰ আজি সামৰণি মাৰিছো. পুনৰবাৰ লগ পোৱাৰ প্ৰতিশ্ৰুতিৰে অনিতা, goodbye and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.